southwest. Okay. So, Lawrence traffic, Skyhawk 909er Hotel Victor, taking off, runway 1, Lawrence.
That's good enough.
Okay.
All right, look both ways. Approaching looks clear, runway's clear. No construction vehicles on it. All right. We also got a little bit of a crosswind today.
Okay.
So we're going to turn our controls into the wind. And as we accelerate, we're going to slowly bring it back. So at our rotate speed, about 55 knots, we're going to be just about there.
Okay.
So go full throttle, controls into the wind. Steer with your feet, heels on the floor, no brakes. Slowly bring the controls back to neutral. 55, a little bit of back pressure. More back pressure. And now we're flying. Start aiming for 75. Keep your hand on the throttle. If you need to adjust your trim, you can do it.
Okay.
Lots of right rudder with these climb outs. There we go. Lots of right rudder. Keep that right rudder in. Alright, 1,500 feet. Go ahead and make that left-hand turn. And we're going to head towards Clayton Lake now.
Left-hand turn?
Yep. Still keep that right rudder in these climbing left-hand turns. It's almost like reducing the amount of right rudder.
Okay.
Hello, Atkinson. Municipal Airport, NBO. This is Citation 1249 Papa. We are 11 minutes out. We're going to be dropping 4 passengers and a dog with the bag. And they're going to be picked up by local hunting.
Alright, there's Clayton Lake. Head towards that. And we're going to go up to 35.
35?
Yep. So just try to maintain that 75 knot climb all the way up. We talked about VY climbs.
Okay.
Coffee County.
So I can go up a little higher angle then, right?
Yeah, a little bit more nose up.
Left downwind, runway 3.
And then eventually the airspeed's going to kind of balance out. And remember, we talked about trimming for an airspeed. So we can trim for this climb airspeed.
Right now it actually feels pretty good.
Oh, good.
I mean, I'm not fighting it.
That's the idea. Make your life easy.
So what's your, like, too windy to go out day? What's your...
Oh, it depends on what we're trying to do. If we're doing high work, I'll go up to about 30, 35, depending
Okay.
on how off angled down the runway it is, or how much crosswind we have compared to headwind. In the Skycatcher, 21 knots, period. But yeah, I've done up to a 30 knot direct crosswind in 172 before. It's not fun. I try not to do it. But yeah, it was pretty windy the other day, and I was still able to get on the ground. You have to work for those landings.
There was a couple of days ago I was like, oh my gosh, this would be a really hard day to fly, but that may have been the day you came around.
There's a fighter.
Oh wow.
I've never seen one of those before here.
Seems kind of low, don't they have lanes that they use, right?
They could be doing something.
So I'm at 3,500.
Yep, so pitch, power, trim for level flight. That's kind of neat.
gonna back off on the RPMs a little bit, or?
Yep. So hold that nose level, a little bit more nose down as you reduce the power. So remember, we got to reduce the power, pitch power. About 22, 23, some arbitrary low number. And then trim for low flight. So whatever pressures you're holding in, you're relieving that. And you can check yourself by taking off hands off and looking at the altimeter and what that's doing. As long as it doesn't climb or descend, you're good. Alrighty, let's go and do a couple clearing turns. Go ahead and give me a turn to the east. And turn to the west. And as we're doing these clearing turns, we're essentially looking out for other traffic. Making sure when we start doing these maneuvers, we're not going to get in other people's ways.
Like military jet fighters?
Yeah, apparently.
November 8247 Alpha, Kansas City approach. If you hear me, contact Whiteman approach.
And let's go ahead and left-hand turn back to the south. Alright. And we're going to warm up with a power off stall. To kind of remember the kind of flow for that.
For the power off stall?
Yep.
Bring it down to 1700 or 1500?
1500, yep. We're going to slow up the airplane. So go ahead and let's do that now. And we're going to maintain our altitude, which is going to let us bleed off airspeed. So 1500. And then as we do that, we can now start adding flaps. So below 110 knots, we can add 10 degrees. Below 85, we can go full flaps.
On at 1500.
Copy, County Church 555.
And let's go full flaps. And now we're full flaps, so let's go ahead and go idle. Try to keep the wings level, going straight ahead, and slowly add that back pressure. More and more back pressure. We're descending, so we need more back pressure. There's the horn, keep pulling back. You gotta go full stall. Keep pulling back, keep pulling back, keep pulling back. More back pressure, more back pressure, more back pressure. More. Lots of back pressure. More. All the way. There we go.
Okay.
More. We're still descending. It's not stalled yet. More back pressure. More.
I'm all the way back.
Oh, there's a baby stall. Lower the nose. Full throttle. Get some airspeed pitch for a climb. So let the nose come up a little bit. Flaps to 10, or flaps to 20. Lots of right rudder as you start climbing again. Below 60 or above 60 knots, so let's bring up the flaps one more notch. And then safe altitude, safe airspeed, flaps up.
So do what now?
Flaps all the way up. And let's level off again. So we can level off, bring back the power, trim the airplane back for level flight. So something I just want you to notice is we started heading with the south and we ended up going about 30 degrees off to the left. So we need to start trying to maintain the heading as we do this.
Okay.
So just once again making your life more complicated.
Sure. No.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and flip us around and head to the north.
I've already switched to the right, so I've got enough for a couple more, that's about it.
Alright, so we're on our heading. We're going to maintain 360 north. We're going to slow it up again down to 1500 RPMs.
I'm good for one more, it's up to you.
Keep the attitude.
Yep, kind of just maintain level flight. Because what that's doing, when you reduce your power, airplane wants to descend, right?
Right.
If we pull back on it, it's bleeding off that airspeed. We're trading airspeed for altitude.
Okay.
Alright, below 110 knots, 10 degrees flaps. We're kind of descending, so you need more nose up. There you go. Alright, below 85, you can go full flaps. And then let's go idle. Then just increase your back pressure so we don't descend. There you go, there's the horn, more and more back pressure. More. There's the stall, lower the nose, full throttle. And then go back into a climb.
Which it kind of just did on its own.
Yeah, it wants to, you gotta just like kind of control it. Start bringing up your flaps.
You'll fly 140 or fly around control.
But I need to get more speed before I bring the rest of the flaps up, or?
Just keep it above 60 as you climb out, so go ahead and bring up the next notch.
Say that again, DJ. I've seen them
And then
guys
just
on
one
the
at a time though.
Oh, okay.
Especially that last 10 degrees. Alright, now you can bring up the last 10 degrees.
Was Smith Windsor wanting to ride your sailplane?
Okay.
Now's your chance.
Nice. Alright, let's level off here. So pitch power trim, let's go back to the north for now.
Back to the north.
Yep. And we can bring back the throttle. Alright. My flight controls.
Got flight controls.
So what do you remember what the scenario that we kind of talked about where the power off stall might happen?
Too much angle of attack.
That's all stalls, yep. So
Too slow a speed.
when would you have all your flaps out?
Like flaps out is all the way
All the way down.
landing.
Yeah, so the scenario is that we're coming to land and we're almost making it to the runway, so we're almost there. We're short final, so we pull idle, and we're a little bit slow, but I'm just going to keep pulling back to try to get to the runway. That's the scenario that we're coming from. So that's why when we recover, we lower the nose, which is the thing that corrects for the stall,
Okay.
and then we go back to a full power climb
Okay.
because we're simulating being close to the ground.
Okay.
So you're only lowering the nose, recover from the stall, and then immediately back into a climb.
Okay.
I want to show you something. It's called a falling leaf stall. And it's to kind of emphasize that lowering the nose is only there to recover from the stall. So we're going to get it back to the south. Start slowing up 10 degrees, below 110 knots. And below 85 full flaps. Just going to go idle. And then as we approach the stall, I'm just going to keep the back pressure. I'm not going to recover from the stall in this case. Nice and coordinated. So the nose wants to come down, and I'm just kind of keeping it there. So we kind of go in this like shakingness of nose up, nose down.
Okay.
So it's lowering the nose that recovers from the stall, and then we go full throttle so we stop going towards the ground and start climbing and get away from the ground again.
Okay.
I just want to emphasize getting away from the ground. Start bringing up the flaps. And we'll recover. And your flight controls.
I have flight controls.
Alright, let's do another power off.
Okay, so same heading,
Let's do 180.
180.
Nice cardinal headings. Make things easy.
Atkins, medium full, Citation 1249, Papa's down, land runway 17, about 3 miles downwind. Lowering traffic, Scott,
Okay,
1500.
1500.
Yep.
About 7 miles to the southwest and come straight into runway 1. Lowering traffic.
Okay. Maintaining attitude.
Cherokee 55719, left downwind, runway 36, touch and go, copy County.
Lawrence traffic, Second Route to Victor, 10 miles to the southwest, maneuvering 3,500 Lawrence. Yep.
Okay.
So start adding your flaps. We haven't added the flaps yet.
Correct. Okay. So flaps to 10.
Yeah, 10 degrees initially, below 110 knots. Below 85, you can go full flaps now.
Okay.
And now we have full flaps, we can go idle.
Okay. Vital.
Slowly add that back pressure.
Copy County, Cherokee 55719, stay runway 36, touch and go.
And then recover. Lower the nose. There we go. Full throttle. There you go. Then what's next?
Flaps to
Yeah.
20.
Yep, flaps 20, bring it 1 notch up.
Maintain, try to stay true on 20.
Alright, we still got flaps out.
So above, when can
Above
I?
60.
Above 60.
Yeah.
So up another 10.
Yep.
And lowering traffic, Scott, 172, Foster Romeo, now 5 miles
Okay.
down, 2,500, coming straight into runway 1, lowering traffic.
And you still got last flaps out still?
When does that come back?
As soon as you're at a safe altitude, which I think we are,
Okay.
and above 60 knots.
Level off.
Yep, we can go level off at 3,500.
Okay.
Alright, go ahead and flip us back to the north. So here's 3,500 feet, so keep the turn coming.
But stay at 35.
Yep. Making your life harder.
Well, you're doing an excellent job, sir.
And then once you're leveled off at the altitude that you want, even in a turn, you can bring back the power while you're turning. Alright. My flight controls.
You have flight controls?
My flight controls. So that was the power off stall, or a landing stall, or an approach stall. Different names, same thing.
Okay.
Next thing we're going to do a power on stall, and this is a departure stall or a takeoff stall. So we're simulating taking off. Well, when we take off, we have no flaps normally, and we're usually go slow and then we pitch up. So the whole idea is that we're going to take off. We didn't do our performance calculations. There's a tree at the end of the runway, and we're just going to keep pulling back with that full power to try to get over the tree.
Okay.
Well, physics doesn't like that, and then we're going to stall and recover.
Okay.
So same thing with the stall recovery, lower the nose, recover from the stall, and then climb back out.
Okay.
So we're going to slow it up the airplane. We're going to slow it up to about 60, 65, somewhere around there. Kind of get to that rotate speed of 55 knots.
Gotcha.
That's the idea. So I'm just going to maintain north as we do this. There's the horns. I'm just going to add my full power now. Smoothly add that right rudder. Over rotate to get that nose way up in the high like this. Appropriate amount of right rudder. Keep the wings level. Look outside. We're not seeing any rotation going on.
Okay.
Add enough back pressure. There's the stall. Lower the nose. Then get some airspeed and go back to our VY climb.
Okay. Which is like 68-ish,
75.
75. Oh, VY
I was-
climb.
Yeah,
VY,
I was
VY.
kind of slow. So, once again, maintaining your altitude, slow it up. You can either go idle or 1500 RPMs, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Maintain your heading. Load up to that rotate speed.
Okay.
Go full throttle. Smoothly apply that right rudder as you pitch up. Excessive nose high. Looking outside, make sure we're not turning, banking, rotating.
Okay.
Airspeed bleeds off. There's a stall. Lower the nose.
Okay.
And then back to a climb. Now, you kind of saw that one of my wings started to drop. Now, if your wing ever drops, you don't fix it by ailerons.
Okay.
That would aggravate the stall and can actually make it worse.
Okay.
You lift up the wing by using opposite rudder. So if my right wing drops, left rudder. See how my right wing comes up?
Okay.
And right rudder brings up my left wing?
Okay.
That's the idea. All right, your flight controls.
And flight control.
Your flight controls. All right, go ahead back to the north.
3,500 again.
We can keep 4,000. To the north. To the north.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. Yeah, I think that's about north.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to bring back the power. Let's just do idle. Make it easy. Maintain our altitude by adding back pressure so we don't descend. And it's going to be a lot more back pressure as we slow up.
More back pressure.
Yeah, more. We're kind of descending. A little bit more. All right, go ahead and smoothly apply full throttle and add that right rudder. So full throttle. Get that full throttle in all the way. Get that nose up high. There's a tree at the end of the runway you're not trying to hit. That seems like a bad day to do. Now look outside. Use your kind of vision to see if we're kind of rotating or not.
Okay.
And then keep that nose up high.
Okay.
See how we're kind of twisting like that? So lower the nose, a little baby stall,
Okay.
and then go back to a climb, a VY climb. We didn't get a full stall, but I saw that you saw the wing drop, and I felt the rudders. That's perfect. That's what we want. All right, let's go ahead and level off. and we'll do that again. So the whole thing is if you stall with the rotation, if you have a rotation as the stall occurs, then that's how we develop a spin.
Okay.
That's all we're trying to prevent. There's nothing crazy about spins. I just rather not be on a carnival ride today.
Gotcha. So back down to 1500.
Yep.
55719.
One of these days, if we want to, we can do them. I just don't feel like it today. They're actually kind of fun to do.
You had to do that to get your CFI, right?
Yeah, it was a blast.
Wheel 5140, crossing midfield.
The back pressure?
Yep, add back pressure. Kind of see how we're slowly descending. The needle keeps moving down. So that means you got to add more back pressure. At 65, go full throttle.
1200 feet on
Full
the
throttle.
outside to the north.
Full throttle, get that right rudder in there. Excessive nose high, keep that right there. That's probably good pitch attitude. Just kind of maintain this. Maybe a little bit more nose up.
Drop steering, sure.
There it is. Lower the nose.
Left base. Runway 36, copy.
And then climb back out. So we don't need to be prolonged in a nose down position.
Okay.
Because remember, we're simulating being close to the ground. Just enough to recover from the stall and climb back out.
Okay.
Very nice. All right, we're going to flip around to the south and do that one more time. Very nice, very nice. How is your peripheral vision on your left-hand side?
Good.
Good? Okay. I use a lot of my peripheral vision to kind of tell if I'm banking or rotating.
Okay.
And then use that information along with these two things, and that'll also tell you the same information as well. That'll help you prevent any turning motion as we approach that power on stall.
No traffic, 365 is on time. Left base for runway 17, Tulsa.
Alright, do it one more time.
So basically 1500. Slow it down. Fast, maintain altitude, pressure.
Skype traffic, 33, or on 119 on
Pretty much at idle now.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright. Smooth throttle.
Yep.
Vehicle's clear.
Bring it up.
As you add that, you gotta add that right rudder.
Skype traffic.
A little bit quicker with the throttle, I think,
Okay.
that might help
Okay.
with the smoothness. Keep that right rudder in. Yeah, a little baby one.
And bring it back up.
Perfect.
And level off.
Yep, go and level off. Alright. And remember, leveling off includes bringing back that power. You don't need to be full throttle level flight. Be nice to the engine.
Okay.
Alright, let's go ahead and give me an easterly heading.
Really hit.
Yeah.
Copy County traffic, Cherokee, 5519 left downwind. Report that you go runway 33.
And let's go ahead and get into, I don't know, a 90 knot descent at, what's this called, 1500 RPMs.
1500?
Yeah.
Fuel flight 458, second left base from that one.
and just maintain 80 knots and trim it out for that airspeed.
Got the traffic, you flight 458, turning final, runway 17.
All right.
Alright, so the airplane's nice and trimmed. Take your hands off. It does pretty much that. Now, we can increase our rate of descent by pushing down on the throttle or on the yoke, right? But that has a byproduct of getting us airspeed. We could also reduce our throttle all the way to idle, but after idle, well, then we can't reduce our throttle anymore. There's another way to increase our rate of descent, other than flaps, pitching, or throttle. They're called slips.
Okay.
So I want you to do opposite aileron and rudder. So let's just do left rudder and right aileron.
Left rudder and right aileron.
Yep.
So
Opposite.
this.
Yep. So all the way to the floor with the rudder.
Okay.
And do you hear the wind? It's like
Yeah.
smacking the body of the aircraft.
Yeah.
So we're still going 80 knots or 90 knots, and we can still pitch for an airspeed, but our rate of descent's actually increasing.
Okay.
So let's get that all the way. There you go. And you can still kind of turn, make sure that we're lined up with the runway, for example. So let's turn a little bit more to the right. Keep that full left rudder in there. There you go. So we can use this to increase our rate of descent without increasing our airspeed. Now we're pegging nearly 900 feet per minute at 90 knots. And then recovery, just kind of lower, reduce the amount of inputs. Go back to level flight.
Drive traffic, no flight 140, turning final, runway 32.
So that's a slip.
Okay.
Alright. We have a little bit of time left. So what I think we should do is go ahead and get us a descent down to 2,000 feet, please.
1,000 feet.
Yep. And then we can level off at about 2,300 RPM.
What heading?
It doesn't matter. Actually, go ahead and give us a left-hand turn towards Clinton Lake. Let's see that. Now, we don't want to dive to the ground because we get a bunch of airspeed, so just keep it below 120 knots. Oh yeah, it's windy down here, isn't it? And just head west for now. Down to 2,000 feet. Alright, my flight controls.
Yeah, flight control.
My flight controls. So we're gonna level off here, 2,300 RPMs. We're gonna start talking about ground reference maneuvers. Basically, we're gonna maneuver in reference to something on the ground.
Okay.
So the first one we're gonna talk about today, and we'll probably end on that note, is turns around a point. So we're basically gonna fly a circle around something on the ground.
Okay.
Now, the wind was coming 010, so we always like to enter ground reference maneuvers from the downwind. We're also about 600 to 1,000 feet above the ground, so 1,800, 1,900 feet works pretty well here. It doesn't matter what we use, just something as long as it's obvious. We can use like a building or stuff like that.
Okay.
So, actually, this is downwind. So, let's see. We have this intersection, this T intersection with the house on
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I'm just going to
yeah.
use that. Airplane's fairly well trimmed. I'm going to maintain my altitude. And I'm just trying to maintain an equal distance from that landmark. So as we're going faster over the ground, the more bank we need. And as we go slower over the ground, the less bank we need. So as we enter the downwind, that's the faster. And as we turn around it and head into the wind, we tend to go slower. And you're just dividing your attention from outside the airplane to inside the airplane. Kind of started kind of wide. I got a little close here. Try to maintain that 1,800 feet. As we come around, our ground speed's going to start picking up. So our bank's going to have to start increasing. And after you do one circle around it, then you just exit by flying away.
Okay.
So that's the little idea. I definitely ended up closer than I wanted to when I exit. You want to be at the same distance the entire time. Obviously, that time I wasn't. But that's the idea.
Okay.
So, your flight controls.
Flight control.
And it looks like there's a water tower-ish looking thing in front of us. Let's go ahead and turn around a point on that. Actually, I have no
This
idea.
guy right here.
Yeah, it's a silo, not a water tower. Not bad.
Come up a little bit.
Okay, parallel with it, start your turn. Nice and gentle. This starts with the steepest. And when I look back inside the airplane, the only thing I'm really looking on is my coordination and my altitude. Make sure I'm not climbing or descending. A little bit steeper. Wind's really pushing us. And keep your flow coming. Look inside real quick. We're gaining about 200 feet, so let the nose come down. There you go. You okay?
Yeah.
And as we start getting faster, you're going to have to increase your bank. Right on. Alright, go ahead and give us a climbing left-hand turn. We're going to head back to Lawrence now. I'll go back up to 3,500 feet. gonna check the weather again while you fly the airplane. And you can kind of aim for the chemical plant off in the distance. Yeah, let's get that closer, a little bit closer to 75, 80 knots for that climb. 040. So same runway as before. So we're gonna make another radio call. We could probably actually stop at 25. Let's continue up to 3,000, sorry. Keep changing my mind. We're gonna make another radio call to Lawrence, so we're gonna say Lawrence traffic, Skyhawk 909er Hotel Victor, 10 miles to the southwest, inbound runway 1.
Okay, so it's Lawrence Control,
Lawrence traffic.
Lawrence traffic, Skyhawk 909er Hotel Victor.
Yep.
10.2 miles to
The southwest,
southwest.
inbound for runway 1.
Lawrence traffic, Skyhawk 909er Hotel Victor. 10.2 miles to southwest, landing runway 1.
Perfect. And we're gonna level off here. Sorry about that. And let's aim towards the chemical plant. And we can keep about 2,400 RPM. This works out nicely, I think. Very nice. Review some old stuff, some new stuff today.